Thanks for listening to Flamingly Unfiltered
Reddit stories.
Reddit stories. I'll start with mine because I have a submission from Andrea Thompson.
Oh.
Am I the asshole by making my son stay in a sport he hates?
Ooh.
This is the first sport he's been in since he was in Taekwondo as a kid. He wanted to be in cross country because he likes to run. I told him they run for miles, and he was at first okay with it. They made him do twice a day workouts before school even started. That first week, I asked him if he said he liked it. That week, I asked him if he liked it, and he said yes. I think I will be in it next year too. I thought, great, he found his niche. School started on Monday, and he had practice afterwards. When I picked him up from practice yesterday, I noticed all the kids coming back from the workout, but no sign of my child to the very end. The coach approaches me and asks why he hadn't been at practice the past 2 days. I am in shock and confused because I thought he liked it, especially since his best friend is also in cross country. He and his friend had been skipping out on practice and jumped in at the end for parent pickups. He told me his friend peer pressured him into skipping. Either way, he made a choice, and it was clear he no longer wanted to be in the sport. I spent about $400 on apparel, fees, and uniform. Do you think I should force him into sticking it out and not be a quitter, or let him quit? Which repercussions of lying and skipping practice are in place? His dad thinks he needs to stick with it because he ain't raised no quitter. But let's be real, he ain't raised anything since he's been absent in his life.
Subtle burn. Subtle dig.
In my opinion, he wouldn't excel in something he didn't enjoy.
That's true.
And why make a 13-year-old miserable for that? He'd only rebel more. That is so true. Okay.
Listen here, you little shit.
Listen here, you little shit. Coming from, I totally get it as a kid.
Yeah.
I hated football.
Yeah.
And so my mom paid for it, and so I felt bad saying I hated it, you know? But I went for 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though I hated it.
Yeah.
Like every day before practice, I would be like so anxious about football practice. And I like hated it so much. I remember it was like torture. So it's like, yeah, I do get. The thing is, if he's gonna skip it, then, you know what I mean? Like, then he's not doing it either.
Yeah.
If he's gonna skip it, you know, play hooky and skip it, then the coach is gonna be like, well, what the fuck? Like, you're telling me that, you know, he's playing, but he's just skipping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, like, if he's just gonna skip it, then I don't know.
Yeah, take him out.
Take him out, maybe, but
yeah.
Coming from somebody that started a sport and then hated it immediately, I understand. I probably would have skipped if I had a friend that was skipping too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I totally would have. So
I was very easily, which is weird because I've always been bigger, and I was very easily influenced with gym. Like my grandpa always wanted me to be in swimming. And so my mom was like, we should always be in swimming. And I hated swimming because I'm fat and I don't want people to see me with my shirt off.
Yeah, I
hated swimming for that reason. Like, all I thought about was people were looking at my boobies.
Yeah.
And then I was like afraid to dive because I was afraid to belly flop.
I never dived.
And so I would always be like, I'm just going to sit out diving. And they're like, you have to graduate to the next level. I'm like, just pass or fail me then, bro. But then.
Oh, yeah. Like during this segment, I think, during this segment I did it. But yeah, I just like. It wasn't a dive. It was so embarrassing.
Flop
Everything I do in the water, I'm not a water person.
You're not a water Pokemon.
I can tread water and that's it. You know what I mean?
Stand in the shallow end. But then I was influenced. I don't even know how. I read a book in middle school about Pele, the soccer player, and then I became obsessed with soccer. And so I wanted to be in it. And then it also worked out because Michaela wanted to be in it. So my mom signed us both up. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. Like, we have soccer at the same time. And it was fine and it was fun. But then it started to get cold. And I'm like, I don't want to stand outside for hours in the freeze. Like, it was literally freezing out. And I was like, this isn't fun. And then I remember I was little and mom signed me up for baseball because I was obsessed with baseball. And I got lucky because 1 week was my birthday, so I could skip it. And then the next like 3 times it rained, and then they just canceled it because the kids had missed so much. So it was like, but the first day I went, and I just wanted to hang out with my friends and then take the picture because I wanted the sports pictures. Like I wanted to dress up in the uniform and look cute with my baseball bat and get the picture. And then that was it. And then we practiced for a little bit, and I was like,
sucked at baseball too.
I was so awful and it was so miserable. But then I got, like I said, I got lucky, and all the other practices got rained out. So I think if I remember correctly, they just canceled it. So I'm like, thank God for that one.
Baseball was so embarrassing as well. Oh my God, I hated baseball. When it was baseball for the segment, oh my God.
You think Mom would have put it together and been like, he's a little fat flamer, maybe put him in some art projects instead. Something sitting, something in front of the TV, something in front of the air conditioner. Oh, that's funny.
Well, I don't think you're the asshole.
Yeah, definitely not the asshole.
I don't think it's wrong to push your kid, to try something that they might not like or might not think that they like. But if they have a friend that's also skipping, I don't think they're going to go.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to.
I feel like that's kind of part of a parent as well, as like, oh, I'm going to sign my kid up for football. Oh, he hates it. I just have to eat that money, in that time. Yeah. Or like I signed my kid up for music lessons, piano lessons, and they hate it. Like sucks for me.
Maybe instead he could do like corn to tasseling or something. Wait,
there we 13?
Go. 13? He's 13?
Yeah.
I think he's too young for that. Or maybe not. 14.
I don't know.
There could be some sort of like helping around the house, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, or like, like a side little job. Because to be like, hey, that costs $400. And I know you, like, I'm not going to force you to do something you don't like, but we do have to like make that back.
Yeah. If you get all A's this year, I'll disregard everything.
Right. Or something like
something like that. Make a compromise.
Yeah.
Wash my car once a week. Yeah. Then we'll be fine.
Because that way you could still teach them, like, even though it's just sports, if you try something out, you have to pay for it,
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a good lesson to learn too, so.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Am I the asshole for getting really frustrated with my boyfriend because he says he doesn't need to share everything with me? I, 28-year-old female, became really frustrated with my partner, 28-year-old male, last night. We were out shopping for home accessories when he suddenly started sending a voice note to someone, giving the person on the other line some advice on grammar. When I asked who it was, he said it was a friend and that she was asking him about some grammar questions since she is trying to learn English. I shrugged it off. Dinner came and suddenly I remembered what had happened earlier. I asked who it was and he said it was a friend. I asked if he could tell me a name and he said he didn't have to tell me everything, even if we were married. I interpreted it as him hiding something from me, so I answered, "Clearly you're hiding something from me." For me, it's easy to just answer the question, or maybe I'm overthinking it. I stormed out of the kitchen, all while he is saying I was making a big deal out of the situation. He followed me to the bedroom, and he asked if I really wanted her name. He would tell me. I snapped. I said I didn't need to know who she was anymore because his actions alone gave me the answer I needed. I said it in a very loud manner. I'm afraid I spoke too aggressively. He said he would have told me anyway if I hadn't been so passive-aggressive and accused him of things. He even said I attacked him with the question, which rubbed him the wrong way. At that point, I was so confused as to what had happened. I may have really let out an accusatory tone. I honestly didn't know. Now I feel really bad. I'm sitting here in the staircase thinking about how I reacted. I may have overreacted. I'm very confused. So I guess I kind of agree. Like, we don't tell each other everything. I mean, to a point.
But the way it went down was weird.
Right. Yeah. If you ask me who I'm texting or talking to, I'm going to be like, Mom or Michaela,
Yeah.
I'm not going to like, no one.
So, like, I get from, I would have just been like, yeah, it's so-and-so.
It's Betty from work. Yeah.
If they're, like, you know what I mean? If there's nothing to hide, it's like, oh, yeah, it's so-and-so. Like, I don't know. I
guess also, like, I feel like we trust each other enough where if I just said, I'm like, oh, it's just a friend, I feel like that's where your thought would have ended. And same with me. Like, if I was like, oh, who are you texting? You're like, no one. I'd be like,
we
oh,
wouldn't
okay.
just say just a friend.
I know, but
That's
I'm just saying,
weird.
like, if you would have just been like, oh, it's just a friend, I would have been like, oh, it could be any one of your many friends, and I don't care.
So it does, to me, it matters a little bit of how she was asking and how long have they been together.
I don't think it said.
So like when I'm asking you stuff like that, like if we're like, you know, hanging out or something and you're texting, I'll be like, you know, we'll just say who you're texting. It's because we want to, you know, we're interested in your life.
Right.
And so if you're just like, just a friend, like it's weird. You know what
I guess
mean?
I feel like we also joke about it, and I always am like, don't worry about it. You know, like we do joke about it,
Yeah,
but then I feel like maybe we might answer. I don't know.
yeah.
I guess maybe we're just so secure in our relationship that we
That's what I'm saying.
that we don't care.
If just a friend.
Yeah, but like I would have joked and been like, "Oh, your other boyfriend?
Yeah.
You're one of your one of your 6 boyfriends. What's his name? Where does he live?" That's just like how we joke and talk. But
Exactly.
I guess
yeah.
it is weird if, yeah, why not just answer the question? And then if you're just giving her English lessons, then there's that. That's all you need
And
to.
like, yeah, what's with the it was just, yeah. If
I
you're
guess
in a long relationship, if that was like, yeah, day 2,
yeah.
then it would be like, Madame, please back the fuck up.
Yeah. It's
I just got a text from, yeah, so and so.
one of my students.
I don't really feel like going into who it is because I don't even know your middle name yet.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for being active early in the morning and disturbing my neighbors?
End of story. Yes.
I'm a single dad living in a semi-detached house. My toddler loves sleeping in, and I love sleeping in. I prefer late nights and late mornings. Okay, vampire. Then I prefer not sleeping at all. I love math. Then I
With
had
my child.
then I had my new neighbor several months ago. They too had a toddler who constantly cries through the night, but it happens. Not every toddler is the same. But the man often works on call and it is up throughout the night, which means I'm waking up every time he goes to work. The woman has a 7 a.m. alarm, and snoozes it for 5 minutes until 7:30. And on weekends, they're up 8 a.m. loudly talking and playing with their kid. Thankfully, my kid sleeps through it, but after months of this, I'm now an early bird. I go to bed early and I'm awake early. So now I start the day at 7. Every day, including weekends, I'm up and down the stairs getting stuff ready for school. I'm cleaning out my rabbit's cage. Whatever I need to do, I'm not going out of my way to be loud, but just doing what I used to do later in the morning sooner. Of course, they now have a problem with this because on the days the man has to sleep in because was on call, he can't because I'm awake. The woman on her days off is now being woken up at 7 a.m. and can't exactly snooze me. And on weekends, when they decide to sleep in after a night out and are hungover, I'm up and down the stairs. They asked me to not start my day so early. I'm waking them up. I told them it's really their fault because they moved in. I'd be waking up much later, but their alarms and loudness conditioned me to wake up early. Told them I tried speaking to them about it and they can't help it. So am I really the asshole for something they practically created? I feel like if you're waking up at 7, like that's when that one girl's alarm is.
Right.
Like,
Well,
not her problem that you're snoozing it until.
yeah. I would have, yeah, and if you explain it, I would have been like, well, we did have a late schedule. I did usually wake up at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And now because you guys moved in and you started your days at 7 a.m., my body just wakes up at 7 a.m. now. So
Yes.
now everyone's up at 7 a.m.
Right.
And I would have been like, and it's not my problem. You didn't think it was your problem when you were waking me up, and now it's not my problem. I'm waking you up.
Yeah,
I have chores to do. I have
like,
things to do.
well, and unfortunately, like if, like as long as you're not like playing loud music, like
Yeah.
they can't really say anything.
It's life. I need to get my kid ready for school. I need to clean my rabbit's cage. Yeah, if you're blasting heavy metal music at 7 a.m., I'd be like, I'm going to burst your door down and freak out on you.
Exactly.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Nope. Am I the asshole for buying my sister a chest binder? I, 22 female, have a young sister, Sarah, 17-year-old female, who's always been self-conscious about her large chest. Throughout puberty, she frequently expressed her dislike for it, and she has recently talked about wanting a reduction. Sarah is also a lesbian and is out to me and her friends, but not to her parents. She presents more masculinely, and her chest has been a significant barrier to her feeling comfortable in her style. Lately, I've noticed that Sarah's mental health has been suffering due to this issue, so I decided to buy her a chest binder. When I gave it to her, she was overjoyed. She revealed that she had been wanting one but was hesitant to take that step on her own. The binder has visibly boosted her confidence and made her feel more comfortable in her skin. Again, getting choked up because that's so nice.
Yeah.
It's the nicest thing. Sarah still lives at home with our mother, who isn't particularly open-minded, which is why Sarah hasn't come out to her yet. Last night, our mom noticed that Sarah's chest looked flatter and demanded an explanation. When Sarah told her it was because of the binder, our mom became enraged. She questioned Sarah about why she would want it and where she got it from. Sarah explained that I bought it for her to help with her insecurities about her chest and issues like back pain and poor posture. Our mom then called me to scold me for buying the binder. She was angry and began making many hurtful and disgusting remarks about how it could influence Sarah's thinking. I stood my ground, stating I did something to make my sister happy and comfortable. I also told her that even if Sarah's feelings about her chest were linked to her identity, I would support her regardless. Our mom then said I wasn't allowed to see Sarah anymore. Okay. I'd be like, oh, see how well that goes.
Right.
I told her that that was unreasonable and that she couldn't control what Sarah does. She insisted that as long as Sarah lives under her roof, she can make the rules. I ended up calling her a closed-minded bigot, and she called me a bitch before hanging up. Now Sarah is incredibly distressed and worried about being at home with her mom. She wants to stop wearing the binder and have me apologize to keep the peace. I'm torn between apologizing for her sake and standing firm in my support for her. I don't think the asshole.
Well, obviously not.
And I think that's so cool that she did that. Like, what a great confidence booster. And then, yeah, I'd be like, she's 17 years old. I can see the young sister being like, I need to just maintain the peace to stay at home. That part of it.
Like, what's the difference between a binder and a sports bra?
Yeah, basically.
Like, nothing.
Yeah.
I know so many women, like, throughout life that, like, you know, wore sports bras or 2 or 3, like, while running, while exercising.
Yeah.
Just because they had such big, you know, boobs that they hated when they ran, you know, they were bouncing and shit. So it's like
painful, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And painful. So it's like, if you have big breasts, like, obviously you want relief from them too, you know?
And that's not it. That's what I was going to say too. It's not even it has nothing. It could have nothing to do with presenting more masculine or being lesbian
or anything.
It could just be women having troubles with larger breasts.
It is so irritating.
Yeah, and I would have said
like confuse the two. It's like, no, like, there are actual fundamental, like, medical needs that people want,
right? Or
regardless of being gay. And it's like, oh, a binder. And it's like, yeah, like, a lot of people that are lesbian or, you know, transgender, they'll wear a binder, but
yeah,
binders aren't just like,
yeah.
It's so dumb.
It's just like wearing Spanx.
Yeah,
you know, like, or yeah, what if she was like, oh, I bought it because my boobs are too big for this dress that I really like.
For sports.
That's a lie.
Anything.
Perfect for sports. Perfect.
Walking.
Perfect lie.
I have to walk home after work or after the bus, and it's like a bitch walking with these big ass fucking knockers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, anything. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
A binder.
Lesbian.
Okay, first of all, how fucking weird to be like, oh, your breasts are smaller.
Right. Yeah, don't comment. I guess, like, I'd be like,
oh, I chopped them off.
Yeah.
You see, they're squirting.
Just blood.
That is so dumb.
Yeah, what a inappropriate thing to be. That's
weird.
That would be where my brain would go. I'd be like, oh, she's wearing another sports bra.
Obviously, you're gonna notice because you're the mom and
you're living together. Yeah,
the anatomy changes. Obviously, you're gonna notice. But I think, like, regarding those things, yeah, and I'm sure she was like, "Why are your breasts smaller?"
Right.
I'm sure she was like that. Whereas, like, there could have been a cool way to say, like, oh wow, like, I don't know.
Yeah, did you get a new bra?
Yeah, did you get a new bra? There you go.
Anything different today? But then I like how she said it too. It could
Queer.
It could influence her. Like the sister's like,
This-
here's a binder. You're a lesbian now.
This mind control binder. Oh.
Right? All of a sudden, her boobs are smaller, and she's like, vagina.
It's like the
I
Lord
like
of the
that.
Rings, but it's a binder.
Right.
It turns into Gala. Like instead of a ring, it's a binder.
Right. Just
My
they turn gray and have like a short cropped hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they buy a motorcycle.
That is
It's
ridiculous.
the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, and I would
100%,
I would do this-
1000% not the asshole.
I would do the same thing. I'd be
Opposite
like,
of asshole.
you're
What's
being
that?
a closed-minded bigot, and you should probably stop commenting on people's bodies and
Maybe make the peace, but to get that girl out of there. You know what I mean?
yeah, right. I'd be like, I'm gonna get a
You
2-bedroom
can-
apartment now, and you can move in
You
with
can
me.
be obstinate, you know, like in your own ways and malicious compliance, but just so that your sister is like available, you know,
Yeah, I
to
think
you.
I
Make
think
the peace, but
I think that is a good comment to what she said. I did something nice for my sister, and that should be
That's
that should be the
it.
end of the conversation.
my sister was uncomfortable, and I
Yep.
said, "Hey, there's this thing that I know because I'm a woman as well."
Yeah,
And that's what you're supposed to do as like siblings and women and mothers, is like pass on your knowledge.
yep,
Like, hey, I know this thing that'll give you relief. Here it is.
yep, perfect. Boom. End
Like
of story.
saying like, oh, I have a headache. Here's some aspirin. Square.
Gay. Yeah, that's where I would.
Gays take aspirin.
Only gays take aspirin. That's where I would have ended the conversation as a mom. I'd have been like, "Oh yeah, you're right. You did that. Really, that was really nice of you."
For real.
Instead of being like, "You're gonna turn her into a lesbian."
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyways,
that was a heated one.
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a really
That's-
good one.
Where lesbians come from.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Binders.
Binders. Mm-hmm.
Just a land of all binders. Just like trees with like binders.
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway,
Thanks for watching yet again.
yeah, this is fun.
Appreciate ya. Comment, like, subscribe.
Tell everyone.
We're on YouTube, Spotify.
If you have Am I the Asshole or a story you'd like to share
Yeah.
and want us to read it,
Comment your stories. Would love to read them.
yes.
And
for
let
sure.
you know if you're the asshole or not.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to A Few.
New episodes out every Monday.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Flamingly Unfiltered for updates.
Now available.
Available.
Now available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Apple Pod.
Yep, Pod.